Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to Astrology with Georgie. Today we are going to be discussing the current Mercury retrograde in the sign of Virgo. Mercury is going to move backwards from Virgo into the sign of Leo. So I'm just going to briefly explain what this means, what it could mean for the signs, and then we're going to go through all 12 signs of the zodiac. So you can listen for a rising sign and your sun sign and just see which resonates and see how this transit is going to be affecting you guys. So now Mercury retrograde is getting a really big reputation now for being this really awful time where travel gets delayed and things go wrong and people dread it, and it's becoming kind of, through pop culture astrology, becoming a bit of a feared thing. And while it can be a bit frustrating, I really don't think it needs to be as fear mongering as what people make out. Now, I am a little bit biased because I was born under a Mercury retrograde, so I feel like it affects me in quite a positive way. But in this video, if you could all let me know in the comments how Mercury retrograde affects you, and then we can all learn from each other, that would be great. So Mercury stationed retrograde today on the 6th of August. So it's quite literally stopped and now it's starting to move back. It has been in its shadow phase for the past couple of weeks. And what that means is where the shadow phase is the segment of the sky that Mercury is going to move backwards across before it moves forwards again. So there may have been things coming up over the past couple of weeks which are similar themes to which I'm going to explain. And then when Mercury moves forwards again, it's going to go back through that segment. So it's going back and then it's stationing direct and it's coming forward again. So it's basically crossing that part of the sky 3 times, because if you think it's come forward this way, then it's gone back, then it's coming forward again. So where it's going back and forward 3 times, if you've got planets in this segment of your chart, or if you've got planets that are being aspected by this, the retrograde is really going to be asking you to rethink something. So retrogrades, the whole spiritual purpose of a retrograding planet is for us to turn inwards and to rethink or redo something. Mercury rules our communication, it rules our thinking, our thought processes. It also rules 2 sections of our chart because it rules Virgo and Gemini. So it rules 2 sections of our chart, okay? It rules our communication, it rules our technology, it rules our travel. So yes, when Mercury goes backwards, we can have glitches with technology, we can have issues with our phones, we can have issues with our computers. There are travel delays because Mercury rules all of these things and he's busy moving backwards. So these things can get mumble jumbled, especially around the beginning of the retrograde and around the end. So it doesn't mean for the whole 3 weeks that you guys can't make any travel plans and you can't go away, and you have, like, don't be scared of it. Just be aware that when it's stationed, so today the 6th and the 28th of August, when it stations to go forward again, around those dates, that's when it's going to be the strongest because it actually stands still before it goes forward or backwards. And that's when the planet can hold the most potent energy. So around those dates are where you're going to feel it more strongly. In the middle, I wouldn't worry too much about getting on a train, getting on a plane, that kind of stuff. Like, don't let the fear mongering stop you doing anything. I've had people say to me, oh, I'm not going to do that until Mercury retrograde is over. Well, sometimes you can't put your life on hold because the planet's going backwards, okay? Like, everything is always happening as it's supposed to, and that's just what I tell myself. Sometimes, yes, it does mean if you start something in Mercury retrograde, it might mean that you need to redo something. But there's many things that people start during Mercury retrogrades that are successful, because the whole point of it going backwards is that you're having a rethinking and your thoughts are coming to you and you're having this introspected time. That's the whole point of it. You are analyzing, you are reevaluating, okay? So with its stationing retrograde in Virgo, so Mercury rules Virgo, so it's quite happy here, very happy here. It's also exalted here, but we want to think about the themes of what Virgo represents. So Virgo is about being of service to people. It's about our colleagues, our work and our health and our routines and our habits, okay? So there could be themes coming up for everyone in general around reevaluating our habits, maybe going back towards a health regime or back towards a healthy habit that we used to partake in. Reassessing something to do with our working environment, something to do with our schedule, okay? Going over something. It could be that you're having to adjust how you spend your day. It could be that you are doing a workout that you used to do 10 years ago or whatever, or however many years ago, and now you're revisiting that. What else does Virgo rule? Being of service to other people. So it could be that you're starting to think of how you can be helpful towards other people. It's then going to move back into the sign of Leo. And Leo is about our creativity and having fun and joy and doing things from the heart. So it could be a time where you're reassessing how you're spending your day, and you're going back towards having a bit more fun and wanting to do things from a heartfelt place rather than from a logical place, which would be the Virgo part. But Leo leads with the heart. Okay, so there could be things coming up in terms of, should I lead with my head or should I lead with my heart? And with Mercury stationing direct in Leo, it wants you to follow your heart. It wants you to have fun and be creative. It wants you to take yourself back to being a child again. And what is it that you used to do that was childlike and fun, that brought you joy? Okay, where can you stand in your leadership? Because Leo is the sign of leadership. Virgo is the sign of being of service. So perhaps you're rethinking, especially if you're in your own business, how can you be of service to people and to really step up to that leadership mark? Okay, Leo wants to lead. Leo is proud. Leo is the king. So perhaps this Mercury retrograde is really asking you to stand in your power. Okay, so this is the general theme of the Mercury retrograde. I'm now going to talk about the signs and how it could affect you personally, but those themes in general could be the themes that are coming up. Like I said, there's potential for people to come back from the past. This could be anyone. This could be exes, yes, but it could also be friends. It could be ex-clients. It could be people you've not seen in a while. It could be you see someone in the supermarket that you haven't seen for ages. This is very Mercury retrograde. It could be that some paperwork that you had to do a while ago, you're now having to re-go over some paperwork. You're having to refill out forms. Things are coming back that you dealt with a while ago. Things just come back to you from the past. It's so weird how much you notice when you know what you're looking for. So just be aware of things coming back to you and make little notes, because then you can have like a little collection of how many things have come up from your past, and it's actually quite interesting. So this is happening in the sign of Virgo. So for Virgos, for my Virgo risings and Virgo suns, you can listen for your sun sign. This retrograde is happening in your house, and it's going to retrograde back in your 12th house. Okay, so there are going to be themes coming up here to do with who you are as a person, your identity, and then themes of perhaps self-sabotaging behaviors or things that are behind the scenes that no one can see. So you might be rethinking something to do with, because this is about colleagues and work and routines. So perhaps you're having a rethink around something to do with your work routines. Perhaps you're having a rethink around how you're showing up in the world, how you're navigating your life path, the direction that you're going in. That for you guys, Mercury is going to conjoin Venus, and so there definitely could be people coming back that you've been sociable with before, or some sort of friendships that you've not spoken to before. Mercury does rule your 10th house of career. So for you guys especially, this could be rethinking your position at work, really thinking about about your values and how valuable you are. And as Mercury moves back into your 12th house, I don't know if you heard that, but that was my doorbell. I just had to pause it. As Mercury moves back into your 12th house and then stations direct, it's going to conjoin the sun. Okay, so it's going to conjoin the sun around the 19th of August, which is also around the full moon. Okay, so there really is going to be a realization here for you guys around your work sector and how you're being of value to other people, because the full moon is happening in Aquarius in your 6th house. Mercury is going to conjoin the sun in your 12th house. So you need to think about, how are you hiding in the shadows? Where are you not being seen? Okay, the 12th house is hidden things, and the sun is your identity. So perhaps you're really starting to have realizations around your worth. Are you really being seen? What's going on that people are not, that people in your working environment are not really taking note of? And then when Mercury goes direct again, I mean, for some of you, this could also have something to do with spiritual practices, because the 12th house is spiritual practices. So perhaps you're taking a trip back to your connection to spirit, your connection to God, if that's what you're into. Just being kind of thinking about your self-sabotaging behaviors and what you do to sabotage yourself, because you guys did through have, you know, you've just gone through this 12 house period. Maybe you've had some realizations around how you self-sabotage, how you you know, what are your habits behind closed doors. Mercury's coming back here to remind you of something before it moves back again into your first house. So you want to move forward with the direction of your life and with your identity and who you are, but there needs to be this introspective period of, you know, what am I really, who am I, and how am I not really showing up? Because remember, Mercury is your career. How am I not being recognized? Okay, I think there's going to be a theme here for a lot of that. I think there's going to be a theme for a lot of you around this topic. See, can't talk, Mercury retrograde. Okay, so that's basically the main theme for you, Virgos. I'm going to pull a card for each sign as well. Whoa, okay, we've got Ace of Water. Okay, this is all about new beginnings. Yes, new beginnings. That makes sense, doesn't it? That definitely makes sense. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation for this card. Ace of Water. Unconditional love, overflowing abundance, and the fertility of love. I am filled with love from spirit and joyously let it flow out to others, where it fertilizes the seeds of co-creation. Love gives me hope, shining brilliant light on all the possibilities available to me. I am optimistic about bringing dreams into being. Spirit always informs me and guides me, allowing me to illuminate the darkest of places. So perhaps this really is about your hidden desires and your hidden dreams as well. So perhaps you're having an introspective time of, what are my hidden desires? You're paying attention to what you're dreaming at this time. And then you're going to be ready to move forward when Mercury goes direct. So good luck, Virgos. So Leos, I can't get the wheel to turn around because I'm a dinosaur and I can't work out this software yet. But Leos, so let's just pretend this is not on the wonk. Mercury is going retrograde in your second house of finances, and it's coming back into your first house of your identity. Okay, so there's going to be a rethinking process for you guys around what you value, your self-esteem, your self-worth, and potentially for some of you, your finances. So Mercury is going to conjoin Venus here. So maybe the way that you earn money, or there could be some money coming to you in some sense. You're rethinking your financial situation, or you're rethinking how you earn money. And then as Mercury moves back into the first house, you're having a period of, okay, this is who I am, this is where I want to go. And you've got a bit more clarity around your financial situation if there's been something going on there for you. But for some of you, for a lot of you, this will be to do with your self-worth, your self-esteem, and what you actually value. So there'll be feelings coming up of, what do I value? Because Mercury also rules your 11th house of friendships. So there's a sense that there's going to be a sense of, you know, what's important to me? What do I value? What friendships are important to me? And how are they affecting me as a person? How are they affecting my identity? How can I be speaking more positively around myself, especially when Mercury conjoins Venus, moves back and conjoins the sun? There's a realization around who you are, how you're showing up in the world. Are you being creative? Are you following your heart? Are you doing things of joy? Because this is all Leo. Are you leading with love? Are you being the leader that you know that you can be? What is it that you really value? Okay, so there's this sense of your values coming up. What's really important to you? You are going to be having a full moon in your 7th house of relationships. So there might be a realization around your identity in connection with other people, how your friendships are influenced, how your relationships with your friends or your relationship with a romantic partner are really showing up and how they're affecting you as a person. There's going to be some realizations. And when Mercury goes direct again, there's going to be clarity around who you are, and what's going on in your life right now. Okay, before Mercury moves forward again and moves back into your 2nd house of finances, where you could be experiencing, when it goes back here, you know, you could be experiencing better finances, and more clarity around who you are as a person and your self-worth. So Leos, I'm going to pull a tarot card for you. It's going to fall out, and it's Queen of Fire. How appropriate for you, Leos. You guys are the Queen of Fire. Leo is the Queen of Fire. You're the king, but you're also the queen because, you know, big girl energy. I'm going to read the affirmation for the Queen of Fire. Where's the Queen? Okay. Creative collaboration, soul connections, passion inspired by spirit, and artist. I am capable of strong friendships that inspire me, encourage me to express myself in my own way. How appropriate for what I've just said. I co-create with others, dedicated to a vision of achieving the highest good of all. How much I join in the dance of co-creation, letting spirit flow through me and inspire. How might I join in the dance of co-creation, letting spirit flow through me and inspire me to express my passions? I can't believe how accurate that card is for everything I've just said. It's all about co-creation. It's about working with other people and letting your creativity really shine through the work that you do and how you show up in the world. Good luck, Leos. Cancer, you have got Mercury retrograding in your third house, and it's going to move back into your second house. So Mercury rules this house for you. The third house is to do with your siblings, your daily way you go about your day, your daily errands, your daily routine in a sense, and obviously Virgo rules routines. So this is going to be a realization around how you're spending your time. What's going on for you? How are you spending your time? It's going to retrograde back into your second house of finances, and around the 19th, there's going to be a realization for you to do with your finances. Now, Mercury in the third house, this could be rethinking how you're showing up on social media. It could be rethinking how you're connecting with people in terms of media, because the third house is connection and communication. So for you guys, there could be some issues with communication during this Mercury retrograde. It is going to conjoin Venus, which is going to help you, and this is going to bring some maybe friendships back into your life, maybe people that you see on a day-to-day basis, your neighborhood, your local environment. This is going to bring back those people into your life as Mercury comes back to Venus, because Venus is the planet of sociability. But there's a rethinking here. So maybe some of you, you're trying to analyze how you're spending your day, because in the sign of Virgo, it's all about your routines, your colleagues, being of service to other people. So maybe you're having a rethinking around how you're spending your day, how you're spending your energy. And as it retrogrades back into your second house, perhaps this is having an effect on your finances. For some of you, there could be car issues. For some of you, it could be, how am I spending my day and how is it affecting my finances? What do I need to do to change to my routines in order for my finances to be better? So there's a rethinking process here between your connection, your communication, your routines, and how you're making money. For some of you, there could be, conversations with your siblings. The second house is also your self-worth and what you value. So maybe there's a rethinking here around what you value. Mercury also rules your 12th house of self-sabotaging behaviors and your mental health. So there could be some realizations here around how you are self-sabotaging, how maybe you're spending too much time on social media, and Mercury's coming back to say this isn't any good, this is affecting your financial sector. And you're going to have a realization around this around the 19th. But for a lot of you, it will be financial. But for some of you, it will be to do with what you value. What are you really valuing in life? Yeah, those are the main themes for you, Cancer. I'm going to pull. Oh, it's on the floor. It is on the floor. Oh, no. Oh, no, there's more on the floor. Hold on. Okay, guys, you have got the transformation card straight in at the deep end. So maybe you're really going through some sort of transformation at the moment. Transformation card is all about things kind of falling down in order to be replaced. It's all about you transforming as a person. It's a major arcana card, so it's quite an intense card, this one. I'm going to read you the affirmation. It's all about change. Nothing remains the same, and I need to accept that life evolves through cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. Now is a time of transition as things are changing from one form to another. I need to allow this to happen for my highest good. I'm called to let go of the old so I can welcome the new. So maybe this retrograde is having a real shake-up of things for you guys, especially in terms of again, it's coming back to what you really value. So yes, this is your financial house, but it really is pointing towards what is actually important. So maybe some stuff's going on and you're having to think, actually, that's not really important. And it can be quite painful having to do that, but this is the whole point of retrogrades. It's realizations, introspection, and then you can start moving forward. Good luck, Cancer. So Gemini rising. This is important for you because Mercury is your ruling planet, okay, guys? So you are going to feel this a lot. Mercury is going retrograde in your fourth house of family and home. So there's a rethinking process here. It's going to come back to your third, it's going to station and then go forward again. So perhaps you're having to rethink something around your home environment. Perhaps you're having a living situation you're having to rethink. Perhaps there's something to do, an issue with a family member, something to do with conversation, with communication, because as Mercury comes back to the sun in the third house, this is about your communication. Are you communicating effectively? Is there something happening at home and you're not talking about it properly? Mercury also rules you. So do you work at home? For some of you, this could be a change in terms of your identity. Your ruling planet is going backward in the fourth house. So perhaps the amount of time that you're spending at home could be influencing your routines, your connection, your communication, your errands and your community. So there's going to be a realization around the 19th to do with your beliefs, to do with your travel. For some of you, you could be learning something new. Perhaps you're studying something at home, learning something new, and you're having to redo something with that. That could be a theme. For others, it could be that you're revisiting your past. You are revisiting your ancestry. You're revisiting your family tree. You're sharing this information with your siblings. The third house is people that are close to you, like your relatives and your siblings as well. So there could be a realization here when Mercury goes direct around the 28th. Okay. You could be being asked, if you're working with media, if you're connecting with people with media, to have more fun and be a bit more playful and a bit more childlike, because Leo is childlike and it's leading with the heart. So it's all about being creative with Leo on the third. It's being creative. How can you, if you are, working on your phone, working with your hands, how can you be more creative? Do be careful if you are doing things to do with your hands. I don't know why I always think of hairdressers when I think of the third house. Just be careful if you're doing somebody's hair and you're a Gemini rising. Because you have also got Mars in the first house. Your ruling planet is going backwards, so it might be that you're having to redo someone's hair if you work from home, that kind of thing. There's many different ways that these can manifest, but for a lot of you, it's rethinking how you're connecting with people. It's rethinking how you're communicating with people. It's rethinking how you're being creative in order to move forward. But it's tying in your family home in some sense. So family members, emotions, because the fourth house is also your emotional world. So perhaps there's some emotions coming up for you guys at this time. Yeah, so good luck, Geminis. You have got the Mars conjunct Jupiter happening in your first house around the 18th, 19th as well. So you guys are probably feeling quite energetic and quite, but also quite restricted with Saturn in your 10th. So for some of you, this, there could be some restrictions within your career at this time, and you could be feeling frustrated, like you could have all the energy, but then you're not getting very far. And the Mercury retrograde is bringing like a sense of having to redo something. While you're feeling frustrated, you're going to be redoing something, you're going to be changing something at home, you're going to be changing how you communicate or how you show up in connecting with other people, and then things will become clearer towards the end of the month. So don't worry, Geminis, if you're feeling a bit stuck at the moment, which potentially you are. This is a big month for you. Let's pull a card for Gemini. I like them to jump out. I don't like just to pull one because I feel like my brain will... Okay. Four of fire. It's falling on the floor, but this is what was popped out. Four of fire. She's so pretty. Okay, so fire energy is all about being creative. I'm going to read the positive affirmation for you. I love the fire cards in general, they're usually quite positive. So it's all about a new creative phase, celebration, pleasure, and harmony in relationships. Dancers have partners, singers have musicians, helping them create sweet music, and I find others who are in sync with me and my desires. It's a time for celebrating friendship and all that others bring to my life, a time for revelry and relishing the pleasures of being in good company. Making magic together with others is the focus at this time. So the third house is about connecting with others, like I said. So this is, yeah, maybe you're having to actually connect more within your community. Maybe that's what the retrograde process is about for you, having to think, actually, I need to be connecting with people more and less isolating myself at home. That could be what that is about for some of you. So good luck, Gemini. Okay, Taurus. Taurus. So Mercury is going retrograde in your fifth house of creation, children, having fun, romance, dating, and it's going to move back into your fourth house. So, okay, so for some of you, Mercury also rules your second house of finances. Okay, so for some of you, this will be to do with a creative project. What have you been working on that needs redoing? What have you been working on that needs reevaluation? What creative projects are you putting out there that you need to redo or you need to go back to? So maybe you started something a long time ago and you haven't really developed it properly. And maybe it's something that can earn you money. Maybe you had thought of something to do that could earn you money and you haven't done it yet. And now the retrograde is going to take you back to that. And it's going to retrograde back into your fourth house. So maybe you work from home. Maybe you have maybe the way that you are having fun has something to do with your a family member. So a family member could be involved in this creative process or in terms of your having fun segment. I can't talk today, it's Mercury retrograde. But there's this element here of having fun, going back to something you were having fun with, redoing something at home. Maybe you've got a creative project within the home. Maybe you're going to want to renovate. Now, for some of you, bearing in mind the fifth house is children, and this is retrograding back into your fourth house, maybe conversations around children are coming back up. Maybe you had been having conversations about having children with a partner and these conversations are coming back up. Maybe you're having these conversations with a family member. Maybe some of you are getting pregnant during this time. But for those that don't, I mean, this could also manifest to do with your children. So maybe in your children's life, they are going back to a fun hobby they used to do, and it's affecting your family life. For others, this could be something to do with seeing your family members more because Mercury is going to station here. It's going to meet the sun. There's going to be a realization. There's also going to be a realization in your 10th house of career. So again, this could be a pregnancy and actually it's going to be affecting your home and your career life. I digress. For some of you, that might happen. For others, it could be that you are looking at your ancestry. It could be that you are feeling nostalgic. It could be that you're meeting up with family members because Mercury is meeting up with people from the past. It's going to conjoin Venus. For some of you, could be hearing from exes, old romantic partners. For others, it's going to be old family members you're meeting up with. And yeah, but then it's also tying in your financial sector, and this is also the house of your values. So again, rethinking what you value, rethinking what you value as you're going through this creative process, as you're creating something, as you're having fun. It's asking you, what do I actually value? What do I like to be fun? Do I want to spend more time at home? Do I want to spend more time going inward? How am I really feeling? Yeah, something like that. So good luck, Taurus. I'm sure that's quite positive for you. Fifth house is always fun. Oh, I've got a card. Oh no. The Eight of Air. You don't want air cards. Mind you, 8 is about readjusting. 8 is a readjustment. Okay, so release from denial, seeing things as they are, and clarity. With Spirit at my side encouraging me, I open my eyes to see things as they really are. To be disillusioned is to free myself from illusions that keep me from the growth and the healing I deserve. So I bid goodbye to illusions that have clouded my vision. Honesty gives me strength and courage to face whatever I have to face. God, that doesn't sound very good, does it? This could be something to do with maybe you're having too much fun. All right, fun police. Bloody fun police. Why are the tarots always fun police? Maybe you're having too much fun and it's affecting something to do within your family environment. Or maybe you're having too much fun and it's affecting your finances in some way. That is what I get from that. And there's a realization around this. So for some of you, that will be appropriate. Don't blame me, blame the tarot cards. Good luck, Taurus. Aries, we have got Mercury retrograding in your 6th house and it's going to move back into your 5th house. So Mercury rules your 3rd house of communication. And it's stationing retrograde in your 6th house. So this could be something to do with work colleagues. So maybe you are rethinking your schedule at work. Maybe you're rethinking your health regimes and your diet programs. Maybe you're going back to a health regime that you once did, or going back to something that you did in terms of your health goals. And it could have something to do with your local neighborhood. So maybe you're revisiting a local park one that you used to do. Maybe you're going back to a local gym. Maybe how you travel to work is maybe you're getting the bus to work, or you're traveling to work in a way that you used to. You're hitching a ride with a friend, and that's how you now get to work. Maybe your colleagues, you're having conversations with colleagues from the past, because Mercury is going to conjoin Venus in the 6th house, and the 6th house is your daily work. And Venus is the planet of friendship. So perhaps you're meeting old work colleagues, having conversations with old work colleagues. And then Mercury is going to retrograde back into the 5th house of creativity and fun and joy. So there's a rethinking here around, how am I being creative at work? How can I have more fun at work? How can my routines be more creative, be more fun? There could be something to do with your children here, because the 5th house is children. So perhaps as Mercury retrogrades back into the 5th house, there's a rethinking here. There could be conversations about having children. You could be rethinking having children. And it could have something to do with how it's going to impact your daily routines. And there could be conversations coming up about this, especially with Mercury ruling your 3rd house, because this is conversations with other people. So maybe it's very kind of, there's lots of talking about how your work and your routines could be affected by either your children, your current children, or future children. Or for some of you, if you don't have children and you don't want children, this is going to be just more to do with your daily work. For some of you, this could also be pets. So having to go over something with a pet. Maybe you're doing more joyous thing with your pet and you're going to fun things with your pets. Something like that. For a lot of you, this would just be daily work, colleagues, old conversations coming up, having to redo projects that you started, because the 5th house is, creative projects. So redoing creative projects at work would also come under this as well. I'm going to pull a tarot card for you, Aries. Can something please fly out? Because I don't want to have to pick one. Okay, it's not flying out. Come on. Okay. We have the King of Water. The King cards. I found the King card so cool. So this is all about your emotions, tapping into your emotions and love. King of Water. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. I don't know these off by heart, guys. So I just find it easier to read, and then I can get a vibe of what it's really trying to tell you. Okay, King of Water. So generous, diplomatic, fair, gentle, a good listener, non-judgmental, peacemaker, and mediator. Okay, so this really is speaking towards kind of your things to do with your work colleagues. So it says, I honour and respect all beings, including myself, and see the commodities we share and the spirit that is in all of us. I listen to other voices and blend them with my own wisdom before settling on an opinion, making a decision, or taking an action. I gently and lovingly lead others away from fear and divisiveness and into a harmonious collaboration. So I think this is all about working with your colleagues on something in a harmonious way and being diplomatic and fair and gentle. So perhaps things are coming up at work and you're having to really work as a team, because remember, Mercury rules the 3rd house. So perhaps you're having to work together on a project, come to a harmonious decision together. And it's all about, leading, loving and gently. So that's pretty positive for you, Aries. Good luck. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, right? So Pisces, you have got Mercury retrograding in your seventh house of relationships, and it's going to retrograde back into your sixth house. So for some of you, this will be conversations with your partner, um, having to revisit conversations, and Mercury rules your fourth house. So having conversations about your home environment. Um, this is so funny. I've just had a realization. I've got a specific example of this. Okay. So my fiance is a Pisces, and yesterday we had a conversation about whether we would be able to get a dog or not. So Mercury is going to retrograde back into his sixth house of pets. Mercury rules his fourth house of family and home, and we had this conversation, and he was like, "No, we can't do it. We haven't got the resources at the moment. Blah 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 blah." And what's funny is that he's got Mars and Jupiter in his fourth house squaring Saturn. So Saturn is saying no at this time. No, this isn't the right time. And the conversation was with me as his partner. How funny. I've just seen that as I've watched it. So that's an example of how it can happen. So conversations with your partner. Mercury's going to come back here into Venus. So it could be that you see friends from the past, you see old relationships. For some of you, it will be conversations. For others, it will be just having a rethinking process about things. And Mercury is going to retrograde back into the sixth house. So yes, things to do with your pets can come up, things to do with your work, with how you're being of service to other people. So you could be having conversations with your partner about your daily routines and your work and your responsibilities. You could also be revisiting dietary plans, health regimes, redoing health regimes. But because Mercury rules your fourth house, this really does tie in that home environment. So it could be working out at home. It could be changing your diet, but it's going to be stuff to do with home. Yeah, those are the main things. But we've got this restriction here from Saturn in your first house, Pisces. So things at the moment are feeling a bit more like you need to be responsible for stuff, especially as Saturn is also retrograding in your first house. So do let me know if that resonates, and let me know of any other examples you have, because obviously these things can manifest in different ways. We've got the Nine of Fire for you, Pisces. Nine of Fire. Okay, this is a positive card. I love the fire cards. I'm going to read the affirmation to you. Okay, so it's not a positive card. Ignore me. Caution, uncertainty, reevaluating in circumstances. I need to stop, wait, and look around me before proceeding further. My sense of uncertainty is my inner wisdom telling me to bring illumination to my situation, to allow insights to arise and guide me before I take my next step. Questioning is good. I will look carefully to see if a different path may be right for me at this point. Why did I think that was positive? See, I told you I don't know these off by heart, which is why I always have to read these. Okay, so this is exactly what a retrograde is about. It's actually about stopping, thinking, rethinking, and not doing anything until you become clear on stuff again. Questioning is good. So I will look carefully to see if a different path may be right for me at this point. So things may come up. Just wait and see. Don't make any decisions. As my mother always says, if in doubt, do nothing. That is what this card is saying. So don't be impulsive. I'm not going to show my partner this because otherwise he'll definitely be like, definitely can't get the dog. I'm not going to tell him. Yeah, don't make any impulsive decisions is what we get from that. Tarots, where's the fun, please? Good luck, Pisces. Okay, we have Aquarius rising. So you have got Mercury going retrograde in your eighth house, and it's going to retrograde back into your seventh house. Mercury also rules your fifth, okay? So Mercury retrograde in the eighth. So this could have something to do with the resources of other people, borrowing money from a partner, because it's going to go retrograde in the eighth and it's going to come back to the seventh. So is it that you're borrowing money from a partner to go and do something fun? Is it that you are having to rethink your finances, rethink your debts, rethink your loans, rethink your taxes? The seventh house is also your clients, so it could be that you're having to reconnect with your clients to pay off any debts that you've encouraged, or perhaps clients are due to pay invoices and they haven't, so you're having to go back over invoices so that they pay you. Venus is here, so it's connection with friendships as well. It could be borrowing things. If friends have borrowed something from you, this could be a time where you need to get it back. It could also be just conversations. This is conversations with a partner. For some of you, because Aquarius in the first house, for some of you, if you're having problems with a partner and you've been having counselling, because Mercury in the seventh a lot of the time is to do with talking with professionals. So this could be a time to have counselling. There's going to be a realization around the 19th. And there's going to be a full moon in your first house around the 19th. So a realization around yourself and your identity. But there's connection here between other people's resources, other people's finances, and a partner, and how you're having fun. Now, for some of you, this also could be because the eighth house is occult practices. So it is tarot, it is astrology. And because Mercury rules your fifth house of fun, it could be that you're going to do some sort of taboo subject that you haven't done for a while. So if it's an old hobby, you're going back to it. So you could be going back to your local astrologer. You could be going back to your local tarot reader. Yeah, something like that. The eighth house is also self-transformation. So rethinking your psyche, rethinking, if you're somebody that's had counselling before, there could be these kind of thoughts coming up for you. How can you really have fun? How can you let your hair down? How can you be more creative? How are you adjusting your routines, and how is it affecting your own personal transformation? Because you do have Pluto in the first house, so your personal transformation is very much underway, with especially with Pluto's retrograding. So you're going through this retrograde process of your own self-transformation. Maybe you're actually starting to realize that you need to go out and have fun, even though you guys have been maybe going through a bit of a hard time, and you're going back and you're conversationalizing with a partner or with one-on-one friendships, and you're really thinking, actually, how can I spend more time with a partner? How can I connect with people on a one-on-one basis and get out there and have a bit more fun in order to move forward with my self-transformation, or in order to become more intimate with the partner, because the eighth house is intimacy. So perhaps some issues around intimacy are coming up and you're having to reevaluate with a partner, because the fifth house is also dating and romance. So perhaps you guys are thinking about how you can go and have more fun so that you could become more intimate again, something like that. So Aquarius, let's pull a card for you. Tarot have not been kind to us today. They're being the fun police. So hopefully this might be a bit more positive for you guys. Oh, the Fool. Okay, I like this card. I do like this card. This is about trial and error. It's about going on an adventure and just seeing what happens. The Fool doesn't know which way to go. He just kind of goes out there and he just tries. He's enthusiastic. So it says, I know that a spiritual approach rarely appears logical and sometimes even seems impractical. However, when this card appears, I can take a risk and trust that with faith, anything is possible. The invisible realms will reveal each step along the way. I am meant to experience this regardless of where I travel. This is a time where I'm learning that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. So this is quite obviously a very spiritual card for you guys. And the eighth house is our connection to death and our realization around death, and our realization that when we die, we turn into our spiritual selves rather than our physical selves. So there could be some realizations around, what the difference between the human world and the spiritual world. And really that a sense of, again, it's pointing back to your self-transformation and what is going on in your life right now. Are you having some sort of crisis? What, for some of you are, not for all of you, but what is going on in your self-transformation and how are you growing as a person? That's probably what this period of retrogradation is about for you, Aquarius. Capricorn. So Capricorn, Mercury is retrograding in your ninth house of long distance travel, of your beliefs, of your high mind, and high learning, and it's going to move back into your eighth house of intimacy. So this is going to be a time where you're rethinking your beliefs. You're really thinking what is it that I actually believe in, and how is it affecting my intimacy? Mercury also rules your sixth house of daily work. So it could be, how are my beliefs affecting my routines? How are my beliefs affecting my daily work? How are my beliefs affecting my relationships with my colleagues? And the ninth house is also learning. So for some of you, there might be revisiting a course that you've done before, or having to learn something higher, which could have something to do with work. So for some of you, this is career related, like you're at work, you're trying to learn something, and you're having to go back over stuff because you haven't quite remembered it. For some of you, sorry, I really need a drink. For some of you, what you're learning at the moment, or what you're having to re-go over in terms of your beliefs, this could have something to do with spirituality or religion, and it's affecting your self-transformation. For some of you, because as Mercury stations direct in the eighth house, for some of you, this will be about your psychology. It will be about your personal transformation. It will be about intimacy. It could be that, I'm trying to think, it's not really, it could, because it is intimacy with a partner. Maybe something's happened with your partner recently and it's affected your beliefs, and now you're having a rethink around how you can become a bit more intimate. Perhaps you are learning something new, and that is having an impact on your partner's finances in some way, or you're having to borrow finances while you study something new. That could be a theme as well, because the eighth house is other people's money. So it could be at this time that you're having to borrow money. It could be that you're paying off debts. It could be that you're collecting debts. But there's a theme here around having to redo something with other people's finances, having to, and when it meets the sun on the 19th, you're going to have a full moon in your second house of finances. So this could be quite financial for you guys. Maybe you're borrowing money because of something you're learning. Maybe you're having to borrow money because you want to go on an adventure, you want to travel. But this could have something to do with travel. So some people could be traveling to faraway lands where you're having to borrow money to pay for it, something like that, and it's affecting your daily routines and your daily work. Something like that. I don't really see it being that deep for you guys, but you know, we've got this crazy full moon around the 19th, which is squaring Uranus in the fifth house. So I feel like finances for Cancer and Capricorn are a bit of a theme around this time. So we're going to pull a tarot card for Capricorn. I want one to fall out. I don't like to pull them. And if they don't fall out, we just keep shuffling until they, oh, Capricorn, you guys are so stubborn today. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull one. I didn't actually pull that, it did fly out. Okay, we've got 5 of air. Not ideal. Tarot's been the fun police today, guys, so don't blame me. 5 of air. Okay. Tension and conflict. Wonderful. Conflict is a good way to see my motives and intentions. I can use this experience to grow into a more authentic version of myself. It's not important to win, it's important to have integrity. Other people have different ways of thinking and may not always be in agreement with me. I open to this opportunity to live and let live. So basically, for some of you, you could be actually having arguments around your beliefs with other people. So maybe you and a partner don't have the same beliefs. That's what this could be. That's what that's pointing towards. Be careful, because during Mercury retrogrades, there can be miscommunications. So perhaps you're trying to communicate your beliefs and share them with your partner in order to become more intimate, and their beliefs are just not the same as yours. That's what that card is saying. So that will apply for some of you, not all of you, but if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, then just leave it, and good luck, Capricorns. Okay, Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, you have got Mercury retrograding your 10th house of career, and it's moving back to your 9th house. Mercury rules your 7th house of relationships. So this could have something to do with your clients, because this is happening in your 10th house of career. So it could be that you're having to reconnect with clients that you've not spoken to in ages. You're having to re-go over stuff at work. This could be details. It could be numbers. It could be accounts. And you're having to redo something at work. Paperwork. You're meeting up where Mercury's going to meet Venus. Perhaps you're reconnecting with people that you've not spoken to for ages, and these people could be people to do with your career. And then as Mercury moves into your ninth house, it's going to station retrograde, your beliefs are changing. For some of you, you might be wanting to travel. For some of you, you will be learning something new because the ninth house is higher learning, it's the higher mind. For others, this will be a realization around spirituality, astrology, religion. Revisiting one of those topics. If you've been interested in those topics in the past, perhaps you'll really focus more now. Perhaps some of you are having an astrology reading, and you've got this full moon in your third house, which is all about connection, realization, but it's the ending of a chapter to do with communication. It's the ending of learning something. So for some of you, you've been learning something to do with your career, and that will be ending around the 19th. For others, like I said, it will just be having to redo something within your career, rethinking something within your career. Perhaps you wanted to change jobs and you weren't sure what to do, and during this time you're just rethinking. Some of you might be having to go back to school. For others of you, it will just be you're having to readjust, redo something at work, because Mercury rules your seventh house of clients. For others, it could be that your relationship is affecting your career in some sense. Yeah, it's more kind of career and belief related for you guys. For some of you, your public image is changing. If you don't work and it's nothing to do with your career, it could be that you are becoming a parent or a grandparent. So your beliefs are changing. What's the card? Oh, Sagittarius, you've got the Sun card. That's a nice card. Let's read what it says. Abundance. Well, this is the most positive card today, guys, so congratulations, because all the other ones were a little bit Debbie Downs. At this time, everything is possible, and everything I need to know is illuminated. Projects come to fruition, relationships flourish, and my growth is assured. This is a time of plenty. It's important that I share the abundance with others. I am deeply grateful. Wow. Well, that's just wonderful, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Projects come to fruition. Okay, well, I think you're redoing projects, and then you're going to move forward when Mercury moves back into the 10th. So there's going to be a reprocess around projects before they kind of end up finishing. My growth is assured. Fabulous. The ninth house is all about growing your higher mind. So actually, maybe you are developing your beliefs higher. Very positive for you guys. Okay, who are we on now? Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. You guys are having Mercury retrograding in your 11th house of friendships, and it's going to move back into your 10th house of career. 11th house is also your goals, actually. So a lot of you, this will be a re-evaluation of your goals, because this is going to be tying into your career. Mercury also rules your 8th house of other people's money. So perhaps some of you are really thinking about where you want to go in life. Perhaps you're having a realization, or you're just having a rethinking around how the friendships that you're involved with are affecting your career. Are the friendships that you're involved with affecting your self-transformation? Are the friendships that you're involved with affecting your psyche and your well-being and your growth, your transformation, 8th house? This can also show up in your friends' lives. For some of you, I mean, Mercury rules the 8th house. Hopefully, I mean, this is a very dramatic example. That some of you could be hearing about people that have died that you used to be friends with. For others, you will literally be meeting up with old friends, because Mercury is in your 11th house of friendship. So hearing from old friends, meeting up with old friends. But yeah, then it's going to go back. But then it's going to go back into your 10th house of career. So there's this rethinking of, who am I? What's my reputation? How are my friendships affecting this? How are my goals changing? What do I need to rethink in terms of my career in order to move forward to my goals? Who can I connect with on a social level in order to move forward towards my goals? How can I have fun and lead from the heart in order to move forward towards my goals? How can I change my routines in order to move forward towards my goals? That kind of thing. So let me know how that goes, Scorpios. We're going to pull a card for you. Oh, bloody hell. Jeez Christ. Excuse my language. I didn't want 500. Honestly, they're either stubborn and they won't come out, or 10 million fly out at once. Well, I can't work with that tarot, guys. So just give me one. There we go. Oh, we've got 3 of us. Okay, this is quite a nice card. This is about connection with people in terms of resources. So she says, I'm not very good at remembering these guys, which is why I have to read the affirmation and then it reminds me. But I was born under a Mercury retrograde, so my brain, honestly, you have no idea. Right. Teamwork, building on solid foundations, group efforts, dedicated collaboration. Well, how perfect that you are having a Mercury retrograde in your 11th house, and this card comes out. What I am building is grounded in a solid foundation. So I know I can trust that it will not slip away suddenly. I am joined by others in coordinated efforts to bring forth what we have chosen to co-create. The architecture of my dreams is becoming tangible, taking shape before me. And I share my joy and pride with my partners and supporters, teachers and students. We are all learning, growing, and building collaboratively. Okay, so that really makes sense that it's all about the architecture of my dreams is becoming tangible. So dreams are becoming tangible. You're just having this rethinking process, but it's all about teamwork. I'm joined by others in coordinated efforts to bring forth what we have chosen to co-create. So if you are working, if you know, maybe you work in a group of people and you're all working on a project together and you're having to redo something in order to move forward, something like that. So that's quite positive for you guys. Good luck, Scorpios. Okay, Libra. Libra rising, this is the last one. Yes. So Libra rising, Mercury is retrograding in your 12th house and it's going to move back into your 11th house. Mercury rules your 9th house of beliefs and spirituality. So for a lot of you, this will be a rethinking process around spiritual practices, meditation, how you're connecting to spirit. Because Mercury rules your 9th house of beliefs, this is all about, you know, spirituality, religion. This is a rethinking process. Now, this is behind the scenes, so it could be that you're rethinking how you self-sabotage. You're rethinking what you do in private that is affecting your beliefs. Maybe you're doing something in private in terms of developing your higher mind. The 12th house is your dreams. So during this time, there could be things coming up, subconscious thoughts coming up. Pay attention to your dreams, but your dreams and your subconscious mind is going to be talking to you with Mercury going retrograde, okay? It's going to retrograde back into your 11th house. So your 11th house is your goal. So maybe self-sabotaging behaviors or thinking about how your self-sabotaging behaviors are affecting your goals. Maybe something that's not being said is to do with your friendships could be coming out. So because Mercury is conversations, but it's hidden. So maybe there's some hidden conversations going on. And as this goes back into your 11th house, it's going to come to light. Mercury is going to conjoin the sun in your 11th. So maybe conversations with friends are going to be coming to light. And it could have something to do with travel. It could have something to do with your beliefs. The 12th house can also be faraway places. So if you have moved far away or you're thinking about moving far away, maybe you're rethinking this, or maybe you're meeting up with people in a faraway place, because sometimes that can be happening as well. And as Mercury moves back into the 11th house, maybe you're having a realization around your friendships. Maybe you're rethinking your friendship groups. Okay, maybe your beliefs have changed and you're rethinking your friendship groups and how you can move forward with the friendship groups that you desire. Around the 19th, you're going to have this full moon in your 5th house. So it's how am I having fun? Who am I spending time with? What brings me joy? Okay. And sometimes we have to go inward and spend time on our own to have this realization. It can be quite subtle as well. It might not even be the most obvious thing while it's happening in the 12th. But then when Mercury goes when Mercury goes direct, then you're seeing things more clearly in terms of your friendship groups, in terms of your goals and how you want to move forward again. Okay. So for some of you, you could be feeling a bit frustrated because this Mars and Jupiter square Saturn in your 9th house, if you are traveling or if you have moved away or if you're learning something, maybe you're feeling restricted in some sense with this square to Saturn. And this retrograde is just a time of how am I actually feeling? What are my thoughts behind the scenes? Sometimes it can be hard to kind of pinpoint exactly what it is because the 12th house is hidden and it's a lot of the time it's our subconscious. Right, Libra, come on, Tarot, we're pulling a card for Libra. Okay. Six of Earth. Okay. This is all about your resources and relying on other people, or yes, generosity from other people. Unexpected resources, happy surprises, and generosity. What I have sent forth in love comes back to me many times over as the generosity of others becomes apparent and unexpected resources show up. The universe is exhibiting its generosity, reminding me that the world is full of pleasant surprises. Inside the pretty package is tangible aid, a gift from spirit. Just when I was beginning to doubt, I'm reminded of the treasures I am entitled to receive that show up at my door. What will I unwrap today? So this is a very spiritual card. It's about, realizing that you can have treasures from other people, potentially from your friends. Perhaps your friends are showing up for you. Especially as Mercury conjoins Venus, perhaps your friends are showing up for you in a resourceful way, and this is changing your beliefs. So that could be something. So if you have been feeling a bit stuck, guys, or if you are starting to feel stuck with this Mars Jupiter square to Saturn, then don't just know that you have got people around you, and that is the message that we get from this card. Okay, so that is all the zodiac signs. If you got value from this, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't subscribe, please subscribe so you don't miss any future content from me. Hit the notification bell so you definitely won't miss any future content from me. Let me know in the comments how this is playing out for you. Let me know your examples of Mercury retrograde, how things are showing up for you, as that helps everyone learn. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.